If you've seen a headline promising a $1,600 CPP maximum in 2027, pause, because that number is not what Service Canada is paying anyone. There is a real new CPP rate landing January 1st, just not the one most retirees expect. And stay with me to number 6, because that's the point almost everyone gets completely backwards. Number 1, the real maximum in plain dollars. For 2026, the most any new retiree can get from CPP starting at 65 is $1,507.65 a month, not $1,600. In January 2027, that ceiling rises with inflation to somewhere around $1,540, based on how indexing has run the last few years. So if a video or a Facebook post is waving a $1,600 2027 maximum in front of you, they're either guessing years ahead or flatly wrong. And here's the part that stings more. Almost nobody gets the maximum anyway. The average new CPP retirement check at 65 is closer to $800 a month, barely half the max. That gap isn't an error in your file, it's how the formula works. CPP pays the maximum only to people who earned at or above the yearly ceiling for nearly their entire working life. Take Linda, a nurse who took 6 years off in her 30s to raise 2 kids and worked part-time for another 8. She assumed she'd get the max and built her budget around $1,500, then opened her statement and found $1,140. That $600 a year budgeting error, repeated every month, is exactly how people end up short. Miss a stretch, raising kids, illness, a low-paid decade, and your number lands well below the headline. So the first thing to do this week is simple. Log into your My Service Canada account and open your statement of contributions. It shows your actual estimated monthly amount at 60 and at 65. That real number, not a headline, is what you plan around. Number 2, the actual new rate for 2027, the one behind all these headlines. Starting January 1st, the base CPP contribution rate drops from 9.9% to 9.5%. For an employee, that's your half falling from 4.95% to 4.75%. It's the first change to that rate in more than 20 years, and Canada's finance ministers agreed to it unanimously after an actuarial review found the plan is collecting more than it needs to stay solvent. Now here's where the confusion comes from. And pay attention. This is a cut to what workers pay in, not a cut to what retirees receive. If you're already collecting CPP, your check does not go down because of this, not by a single dollar. The people who benefit are still on payroll. Someone earning $70,000 keeps about $133 more a year, and the self-employed keep roughly double that, around $266, because they pay both halves. Picture a self-employed electrician billing $75,000. That's an extra $280-odd staying in his account in 2027 instead of going to CPP. Across the country, that's more than $3 billion a year staying in workers' pockets. Here's the costly mistake to avoid. One retiree saw the word cut, called Service Canada in a panic to ask why his pension was being reduced, and waited on hold for an hour over a change that never touched him. So if you have adult kids or grandkids still working, this is the point to send them. Their January paycheck should be a touch bigger. And if a headline tried to scare you that a new 2027 rate is cutting seniors' pensions, now you know it's the opposite. A contribution cut for workers that leaves your retirement check completely untouched. Number 3. What actually changes in your check in January 2027? And it's good news. CPP is indexed to inflation every single January, based on the Consumer Price Index. Your payment automatically goes up at the start of 2027 to keep pace with the cost of living. You don't apply, you don't call anyone, it just happens. Over the last few years, those bumps have run from about 2% to nearly 5%. The January 2023 raise, for example, was 6.5%. On an $800 check, even a 2.5% raise is roughly $20 more a month, about $240 over the year. On a maxed-out check, it's closer to $40 a month, nearly $480 a year. Here's the mistake people make. They hear about the contribution rate cut from number 2, assume their own payment is being reduced, and some even panic and start CPP early to lock in before a cut that isn't coming. One 60-year-old did exactly that, filed at 60 to beat the cut, and permanently locked in 36% less for the rest of his life over a rumor. Don't. Your indexed raise and the worker's contribution cut are two completely separate things. One lifts your check, the other never touches it. Quick reminder before we move on. Stay to number 6, because deferring is the one move that can actually push a real retiree past that $1,600 figure, and most people get the timing exactly backwards. For now, when your January 2027 deposit lands, check the new amount against December and confirm the raise showed up. It almost always applies automatically, but confirming takes 30 seconds and catches the rare error. Number 4. Why your number sits below the max and the credits most people never claim. To get the full CPP maximum, you need to have contributed at or near the yearly ceiling for about 39 years between 18 and 65. Almost no one has a spotless 39, so the formula includes dropout provisions. Years it's allowed to ignore so low or zero income stretches don't drag your average down. The general dropout automatically removes your weakest years, roughly the lowest 8. But the one people miss is the child rearing provision. If you stopped working or earned less while raising a child under 7, you can have those years excluded so they don't shrink your pension. Take a mother of 3 who stayed home from 1990 to 1997. With those 7 low years counted, her estimate came in around $960 a month. Once the child rearing provision dropped them, it rose past $1,100, an extra $140 a month for life. This is not automatic in every case. You often have to claim it, and parents, usually mothers, quietly lose real money by never doing so. There's also a disability dropout. For any period you received the CPP disability benefit. So here's your move. When you open your statement of contributions, scan for low or 0 years that line up with raising young kids or a disability period. If they're not being dropped, call Service Canada and ask specifically about the child rearing and disability provisions. Correcting this can raise your monthly check for the rest of your life. Not a one-time refund, a permanent increase, and it's money you already earned the right to. Number 5. The new 2027 ceilings and who they really matter to. Every November, Ottawa sets next year's earnings limits. For 2026, the main ceiling, the YMPE, is $74,600. For 2027, it's projected to rise to around $76,900, with the official figure confirmed this November. There's a second ceiling too, from the enhanced CPP, the YAMPE, projected near $87,600 for 2027, with a separate 4% contribution on earnings in that top band that is not changing next year. Now here's the honest part most channels won't tell you. Those enhanced CPP changes are slowly building a bigger maximum. A worker who pays in under the full enhancement for an entire 40-year career could eventually retire on roughly 50% more replacement income than today's retiree, instead of the old quarter of earnings. That is where a $1,600 plus maximum eventually becomes real, but that's for people retiring in the 2050s and 2060s, not for someone claiming in 2027. If you're 65 today, the enhancement adds only a small amount to your check, often just $15 or $20 a month, because you paid into it for just a handful of years since it began in 2019. So don't let a headline sell you tomorrow's maximum as if it lands in your account now. Know which world you're in. If you're near retirement, plan around today's real numbers, not a projection built for your grandchildren. Number 6. The move almost everyone gets backwards, and the only realistic way a retiree reaches $1,600 a month right now. It isn't the base rate, and it isn't chasing a perfect contribution history. It's when you start. Take CPP at 60 and it's cut 0.6% for every month before 35-36% less, permanently, for the rest of your life. Wait past 65 and it grows 0.7% for every month you delay, up to 42% more at 70. Run the numbers. Someone entitled to the 2026 maximum of $1,507 who defers to 70 gets about 42% more, well over $2,000 a month. A difference of more than $600 every single month versus taking it at 65. And even a retiree with an above-average check of, say, $1,150 crosses $1,600 a month simply by waiting to 70. That is how you actually hit the number in the headline, through deferral, not through any 2027 rate change. Consider two brothers with identical records. One filed at 60 at $960 a month, the other waited to 70 and drew about $1,700. Same contributions, a lifelong gap of over $700 a month because of one decision. Here's why people get it backwards. They grab CPP the moment they turn 60, out of fear it'll be cut or won't be there, and they lock in the smallest possible check for life. If you have other income or savings to bridge the gap and reasonable health, delaying is often the single highest return, lowest risk decision in your whole retirement. A guaranteed, inflation-protected raise no bank on earth will match. Don't start on autopilot at 60 just because the button is sitting there. So here's your one step this week. Log into My Service Canada account, pull your statement of contributions, and write down your real estimated CPP at 65 and at 70. That single number beats every headline you'll ever read. If this helped you see through the $1,600 hype, subscribe and share it with someone about to claim CPP. The timing choice they make this year will follow them for the rest of their life.